So we're going to be talking about a 30, 60, 90 special triangle, and to try to understand the 30, 60, 90 special triangle, we're going to go back to its roots. We're going to take a look at an equilateral triangle. We know that an equilateral triangle has three congruent sides, and we also know that it's equiangular. It has three congruent angles, and those angles are all 60 degrees. So recall the altitude of an isosceles triangle bisects its base. Now, an equilateral triangle is also isosceles, so if we drop an altitude of this, we're going to bisect the base. So let's put some tick marks in to show that the base is being bisected. And let's also note the right angle because this is an altitude. So we've got a 60 degrees and 90 degrees, and the triangle sum theorem, or the corollary to the triangle sum theorem, will help us come up with the fact that this third angle has to be 30 degrees. So now we've got our 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we know it's an equilateral triangle, so let's pretend for a moment that one of the sides was length 20. Well, that would mean all sides were length 20. And since this side down here at the bottom is being bisected, we would know that it was 10, half of 20, which means that this side 20 is twice as long as this side 10. Let's get rid of a few of those numbers and talk about this in terms of x. Let's say we were to call this short piece x. Well, that would mean that we have another x, which would be right here because they're equivalent, which would mean that the entire side had a length of 2x, and that means all the sides have a length of 2x. So what I want you to do right now, though, is just focus on this triangle right to the left. I apologize, that's the triangle to the right I want you to focus on. I want you to ignore the triangle to the left. So now we've got a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and what I want you to do is use the fact that the hypotenuse, we know that the hypotenuse is going to be twice as long as the shorter leg. What I want you to do is solve for the long leg using Pythagorean theorem. So let's put in a variable for this long leg. Let's temporarily call it b. And what you're going to be doing is the Pythagorean theorem to find out the value of the long leg. So it's going to be b squared plus x squared equals the quantity 2x squared. And you're going to work through this, and you're ultimately going to solve for b. Be careful with the quantity 2x squared. It means 2x times 2x. So I'm going to leave you with that. This goes with the first question on the back of the worksheet that you're going to be working on today, which looks something like that. So good luck. Let me know if you have questions.